Yeah, what's with the... He's got quite an early forge over here.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
he had made this comment at Bref. He's like, I've actually had a little bit of success with cannons. I'm like, oh goodness, ShoWTime. Cannons.
Cannons.
Oh my god.
But those are buildings.
He's gonna build buildings in his opponent's base.
I thought cannons were defending.
And this isn't...
Maybe defending your attack.
I'm just saying, with that cybernetics core finishing up too, I mean, things could get absolutely wild, right? I mean, you've got cannons, but Tasteless, it's not like we have never seen someone proxy a robotics facility as well.
Yeah.
So this could also just be to stunt the economy as hard as possible, and then he goes back into it back home. But ShoWTime wants to take control of this game, and he's saying, look, I'm going to do an opener that you have to respond to. Whatever is going to happen, whether this does a ton of damage or not, you are going to be playing my game.
Yes, this is no longer about whatever Dark's big vision of this matchup in this series is going to be. It's now all about ShoWTime's attack and whether or not it can be held off. And we do have one queen that is edged out of cannon range and is now going to set up more creep tumors over here. The queen on the main, as well as a spine crawler, has actually advanced forward. Now the probe was killed, which means these cannons are unable entirely and totally to see up onto the high ground, and therefore the queen and the spine crawler could just start to tear them apart.
It looks like he was trying to queue up a pylon at the last second there too to maintain a little bit of the vision and buy some more time for those cannons, but that probe being picked off, of course, that is the opener of rifts.
Okay, this seems like it backfired pretty heavily here. Like
it's a lot of resources, right? 3 pylons, multiple photon cannons.
This is more resources than what he killed off easily.
There it is, it's on the way.
There it is. Okay, it's going to be actually outside here.
He doesn't see it, which is unfortunate. The Void Ray would still be nice for trying to push back the spines if it comes to it. But that does mean he's going to be less likely to worry about the Nydus in the main. But like I said, it's that Nydus up the front. The queens are here. The spine crawlers are going to arrive just in time.
Yeah, and those spines really parlay nicely into this build order because the spines can be put down there. This becomes much more of a headache and a much more difficult position here for the Protoss to take the fight at. By the way, the lack of surface area here is going to be very uncomfortable for ShoWTime. There's not a lot of room to maneuver here.
Yeah, it's all about the queens. They are what is going to prevent this Void Ray from just at least killing the Nydus and pushing everything else back. So he's going to jump on top of it immediately with both Oracles. Shield Battery helping, micros the queen inside of the Nydus and pulls it back out. He's doing a little bit of that pickup micro that we were talking about, except with that Nydus network, that Void Ray, you cannot lose that Void Ray.
That Nydus is a war prism right now being microed. The Void Ray has been turned on. It's taking more and more damage, though. The hull at about a half HP. Meanwhile, there is a Nydus coming into the main.
That is that could be absolutely devastating. All the units up here at the front. He's like, all right, cool, yeah, have fun, kill the spine crawlers. It's all good. The Lings are about to be flooding into that main base.
God.
The probes are on the run, Tasteless.
Surrounding this Nexus, and I don't see anything over here to defend. 3 more queens coming up. The Void Ray scrambling to try to help keep this alive. The Nexus now only with HP remaining.
And that Oracle running out of energy, taking damage. Those queens have so much range to push these air units off of protecting the ground army. And another Nydus network finishes. He's got his back up, and ShoWTime is being overwhelmed here in game number 5.
We have more Lings coming out right now, and it looks like ShoWTime is going to ditch the main. Meanwhile, the spine has been positioned to hit the gateway outside.
He's bringing everything. All the probes are going to come. 37 of workers with these stalkers, with that Void Ray. He cannot lose that Void Ray, pulling it back once more, but Lings flooding into the Nydus and out into the base of ShoWTime. Those queens do have energy for transfuses to help keep this alive. That worker lead ShoWTime had is gone. The Void Ray is dead. The Oracle has no energy to contribute to this defense, Tasteless.
The queens do get chased out, though. The rush is starting to lose momentum. We have another attack coming up here at the entrance.
That's fine. He had to do it to him. He had to do it to him, Tasteless. Spine crawler right in the front of his face, picking off and dealing damage to these units, the shield batteries, burning through that energy, trying to stop this. Now, keep in mind, of course, ShoWTime with those, he didn't lose the main base, so there is a lot to be said for that.
Yeah, had he lost the main base, I think we'd be close to checkmate here for ShoWTime, but the fact that that is still alive, he still has 2 more gases to mine from. There is another Nydus, though, that's going to pop up actually behind the minerals in the main.
Yeah, and this is what makes it so difficult, too, because he has a few Zealots in his main base that were kind of dancing around, but they did not immediately get to that Nydus, and it finishes up. And actually really like to contaminate on the Nexus. He's like, oh yeah, you're losing your workers. Have fun trying to replace those. You can't even build anymore.
He's continuing to spill through here. That Nexus very low. We go back into the main. It is just barely, I think, going to get saved. Hold on, more Zealots and Stalkers are coming up. He's trying to get into there, the point where he can hit these queens and chase them back through the Nydus.
And he's getting some work done over here. So the Queens push back. He gets another one of them before it's able to run away.
Oh, he's
the
so
Nexus
good.
is still up.
This is so crazy.
Too. Can't
Guys,
wall with buildings in the natural either.
Zerg does not even have workers mining at his third base, okay? I mean, Protoss can hold on to this. Protoss can very realistically bounce back.
I'm not going to lie, I thought he had almost reached that point of no return, but there we go. His units on patrol in that main base, going to shut down the next Nydus network. So ShoWTime, he's not going down without a fight, and he is starting to recover.
Oh
that worker
God.
count, Tasteless, it's very, very important to keep in mind. He has not lost too much to try and find a way to pull this game back.
Swarm hosts.
I'm starting to sweat. We got 16 swarm hosts coming out. These oracles are going to find some drones to microwave over at the 4th, but 16 swarm hosts.
Yeah,
what is he going to do?
He already had the Nydus tech as it was, right? Why not just tech into Swarm Host and then try to pelt him with Locust the same way he won the other games?
Like, in a miracle world, you prevent any more Nydus networks or Nydus worms from finishing, but with the number of roaches that he has on the map too, like unless he kills all of them here and then he can immediately deny the Nydus worms in that game of whack-a-mole after killing these drones, like, it's still going to be so difficult. And you know what? This is a really good pick.
Oh, he's on top of it. ShoWTime is really adapted here. He's going to be able to deny this. And the moment you see that, you know it's going to be Swarm Host play.
But he's still got the roaches by the third base and another Nydus. So it's a
hold
constant
on.
challenge. If he can get this one too, that would be really nice.
He spots it. There's roaches here to try to help defend. Does he just target down the Nydus anyways? Oh, I'm sorry. There's another. Oh, is there another Nydus network down there?
There's a lot of Roach Ravager. Now, he just morphed a bunch of Ravagers over there. And the thing is, his army can fight a wave, possibly fight. I'm not actually sure if it can fight a whole wave of Locusts, but it can fight the Roach Ravager. But if he gets those Locusts out up front with the Ravager Bile supporting him, I mean, he's going to be in a world of hurt. So ShoWTime is just the world's craziest game of whack-a-mole right now.
Okay, he comes forward again now. In this engagement, the Locusts are going to have to be used in a defensive way instead of trying to hammer onto the third base.
Yeah, that is quite nice. That's the other side effect of pushing it like this is that, yes, you can build that Nydus from really far back, but the Locusts do have a timed life, so it gives you a little bit more opportunity as ShoWTime to withstand that attack, and he doesn't lose quite as much as he had in the previous matches here. Oracles are able to get on top of some of the expensive units like those Ravagers, also very nice, and denies another Nydus network.
Yeah, it just seems like ShoWTime is managing to push this away further and furthermore. And this is just a 4-base Zerg, which is about to be matched by the 4-base Protoss as the lower left is being taken. The attack comes in here, but if you can push through one wave of Locusts, you're gonna tear down the majority of the Zerg's army.
And he actually baits. We see I don't know if that was, I don't think that was all the Swarm Hosts, but he gets quite a few.
It's all of them.
That might be all of them.
Yeah, that's
so
a lot.
at this point, he pulled back at the perfect timing as these Locusts are going to start to time out, and then you make that push.
Yeah.
You've got yourself about a 20-second window to try and hit this base and fight this army. Those are Hydralisks, but the range upgrade still just a couple seconds away from finishing. That +1 attack is not done yet either, and you've got +2 Charge Lot Immortal Archon crashing down onto the base of Dark.
ShoWTime continuing to push up here. He may be trying to go for this base at the very center right. He's got a very good angle here. These Archons out here in the front. The drones, no easy way to keep them defended.
And he's getting what he wants. He's able to get onto those workers on that base. Now the next wave of Locust is going to come. He had a choke point to try and use those force fields to keep the army away. Will have to retreat from the Locust, but I will say the nice thing about this for ShoWTime is you're keeping the fight on the other side of the field. It's not this game where you're defending and constantly bleeding stuff out. He was able to secure another expansion on the bottom left. Of course, I hear the words of a famous Frenchman echoing in my mind, Tasteless.
Hydra Lurker coming up here behind this, so it's possible the Zerg is going to get a pretty good foothold just outside of where this base is.
A couple of those units stepped a little bit far forward there. Another Archon gets picked off, but yeah, I mean the Lurker transition, we know the power of those with that AoE damage, but it's not like a Mortal Charge Lot Archon in a good engagement. It's not like they can't break that either.
Right.
And we finally get to see ShoWTime actually pull off some potential harass with that Prism making it into the main base. He has spent the majority of this series just defending against big attacks coming from his opponent. Nice thing for that is he gets to deny this 5th base, but he also spots the hive as it finishes. So you get a bit more information. He sees the Lurker den. All of this is very important. That Immortal.
Oh.
He's like, what did I just walk into? Oh my God.
Not able to get anything there. Maybe gets one. Okay,
wow.
Not bad.
He tries to.
Even getting one's pretty big.
It's a little overly micro to actually cost him a Swarm Host there, but that base could get devastated here. We do have a lot of Lurkers, not a ton of support for the Immortals as these Hydras run up onto them. Nexus is sniped. 10 drones were picked off, but losing that base hurts a lot for ShoWTime, and more Hydralisks continue to pour out. He's going for Psystorm, but there's just so much to deal with coming every which way.
Okay, the Locusts come in again, and this is so much damage. I mean, you can't stop this.
DPS is insane.
The third just cannot finish. Now, I think ShoWTime's had some similar ideas here by having small numbers of Zealots warped in to hit different locations over here.
That hatch is pretty low on health. He doesn't necessarily need to fight the army to get the base picked off.
Yeah. If he just can edge in there with a few of those Immortals, he might be able to get it. Is that what he's going to do?
Yeah, just tap it.
Go back, go back.
Oh, wow, he's just going to actually jump on top of the Lurkers. He gets a few kills there. Observer is killed. Of course, we did have Revelation tag on some of them. I mean, killing that hatch, definitely nice. The things that worry me, though, we have 8 more Lurkers finishing up, but ShoWTime's having a difficult time reaching that 200 supply mark. It's been a real slugfest. He just can't get that big Protoss army you want in this situation to just make that one unstoppable, Falcon punch straight through the heart of the Zerg.
He's been floating at 120 a lot in this game. I think when he got Storm, things started to calm down as far as these attacks with the Locusts. But the problem is that Storm is at times a band-aid solution for Locusts, because the Locusts can regenerate faster than the Storm energy can come.
I will say, one thing, once ShoWTime started trying to push out on the map, the advantage has been he's been able to take bases. That third base, that base is just, that's a sad story for that base, but he's got the bottom left one now, and he picks off this Nydus. Another one is going to start up over here, but he's got that army where he's threatening Dark, and actually there's nothing over here to protect this northeast base again. Okay, hitting this base, I think 100% this is going to go down, and this means that Zerg is only going to have this base that's basically like the third base that you take on this map. Now, the Swarm hosts are doing a lot of damage. Fortunately, there are enough Zealots, which are quite expendable, to get in the way of this. You're not moving up that ramp.
Yeah, and those Lurkers are going to keep Dark in the game for a long time, I think. By the way, ShoWTime is knocked down at 3 bases once more.
And the other thing that hurts here in this situation, too, is he's ends up burning so many of his warp-ins back inside of his base, too, where he's just like, okay, I have to warp Zealots in, stop Nyduses, and I think that one is going to finish uninhibited inside of his main. There's a lot of pricey tech here. If he's able to get a wave of Locust out, he could kill almost everything in here. I would put some Lurkers through that Nydus.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, if you could take out the Templar Archives and all these gateways, that's going to be huge.
He's only got 1 mining base. He's taken 2 Nexi right now, but it's that 1 southwest base, and he's actually mined out half the resources on it, so he's pretty broke.
One of the things that's funny about this is you normally would never take that many Nexuses, but I guess it makes sense if you're against Swarm hosts, because you just need to run away.
Yeah, well, there you go. There's another 8 probes, but I have no idea how he engages those Lurker stasis. Like,
I don't know.
There are... This is a disgusting number of Lurkers. This is... I have no idea. They're all his, longest time fans in Twitch chat that just never speak. That's what we've got. We've got so many Lurkers. You are not getting... I do not know how you're getting through that.
Really nice Storm again. That's starting to thin out the numbers over there. Dark now almost maxed out on Lurkers. Getting Vipers maybe to harpoon units into the Lurkers.
You abduct a unit into 20 Lurkers, it's going to die real quick. The Oracle's trying to police the map from these Swarm hosts that are still just being such a nuisance. Slow Zone trying to help out a little bit there, but Locusts, they kill stuff. That's what they do. They're very good at it. That Nexus will get picked off. That's why he built 2, so he does have that base. 26 probes mining away at it, but stuck around that 120 supply mark has kind of been where ShoWTime's lived in this game.
Yeah, I think that we might be seeing the beginnings of the end here. It seems like ShoWTime can't push in anywhere, and the Locusts are continuing to take out Nexuses more quickly than the Nexuses can be used to mine up enough minerals to put Protoss into some kind of survivable position.
He has to pull everything back once again. You have all of these absurdly sustainable units cost-wise for Dark, ridiculous number of Lurkers, so many Swarm hosts, and what is he really spending his money on? It's Nyduses, and those are it's $1 for a dozen of them.
Another Nydus comes down. This has been such a crazy PvZ, man.
Well, yeah,
I'm loving this. It's fascinating to see the mass Lurker play. He knows that the Protoss army is scary and hard to fight, but if you have that many Lurkers, you just can't break into any of those positions.
Yeah. Well, you're just saying, hey, I'm going to harass you to death with Swarm hosts, and then at some point, your only option will be to attack into me. At which point, I brutally kill you because I have 20 Lurkers. He starts another Robo and a Robotics Bay. So presumably his Hail Mary play is Disruptors because there are so many Lurkers?
Maybe. That's actually probably the best response to a situation like this, is to try to start shooting Disruptor balls into different areas. The Swarm hosts are out once more.
Oracle's trying to do something. They do kill a swarm host. And this Locust Wave, well, he's like, I'm just going to stop taking these bases because you keep attacking over here. There's the Overseer, says, okay, Northeast base still up. Drop another Nydus network. If these guys with like almost no health kill this Nexus, I'm going to cry.
It's so funny how fast the damage comes out. Once
it
they get down there.
I'm sweating. I'm sweating Tasteless, but he's making his big move out. This is okay, he's going to turn the Lurkers around. I was going to say, he's got so much here. Maybe he wants to avoid the base trade, I guess. The fear of having his infrastructure picked off and then a recall, maybe.
Oh,
but
Templars being taken out. Ouch.
Full energy as well.
Okay, so he takes out that Nexus. It's now just, what, 12 o'clock?
Yeah. 2 disruptors being built at a time, so his ace in the hole play is going to come out now. If he can land good hits, it's going to make that supply count not matter as much because he can shave off so much of it at a time. But now you've got 20 Lurkers sieged outside your base. No,
Pretty
that's it.
Scary.
You cannot walk here.
I don't know how you're going to stop them from just unburrowing, walking forward, and then burrowing up again and destroying everything that you have.
Inch them forward like siege tanks, man. What are you going to do? There's
leapfrog them.
There are so many Lurkers with the swarm host. This absurdly cost. At the end of the day, even if he was able to kill half of this army, he's got 4,000 minerals and 1,300 gas. Like, he can flood out a lot behind this. So
yeah, that's very true.
ShoWTime can't just kill this army. He has to kill this army without losing anything.
Look at the gas slowly trickle in. Great harpooning, destroying those Archons.
Yeah, and it's so hard. He's got the disruptors coming towards the front, and one shot's going to get good amount of hydras, but it's not enough.
Hell yes.